in Florida picked the wrong pharmacy to rob, and when he tried to hold up this Walgreens, a state boxing champ happened to be there, held the robber until police arrived.
Sometimes, crime backfires in the craziest ways possible, making the criminals learn their lessons swiftly. That was the case for these thieves, who thought they were unstoppable until reality hit them hard. From robbers getting out-robbed by their own targets, to thieves losing their getaway vehicle, to their intended victims, you won't believe the things that happen when thieves bite off more than they can chew and instantly regret their actions. Number 30. Robbing robbers. First, we'll learn what happens when unsuspecting bystanders are less innocent than they seem. In this case, two men standing by a car became the targets of a mugging. A bike carrying two thieves zoomed past, then turned around. The passenger hopped off, trying to intimidate the men into handing over their valuables. But what the thieves didn't know was that one of their intended victims was armed. In an unexpected turn, the tables were flipped. The would-be victim pulled out a weapon and turned the situation around, robbing the robbers instead. As the passenger was disarmed, the other guy saw an opportunity and yanked the driver off the bike. He hopped on, with his buddy quickly jumping on the back. In an ironic twist of fate, the robbers were left empty-handed as the two men took off on the thieves' bike. The would-be victims turned the tables with a gun, but the next story features a hero who used something even more unexpected. Number 29. Starbucks robbery gone wrong. In July 2017, Ryan Flores walked into a Starbucks in Fresno, California, armed with a knife and a fake gun, hoping for an easy robbery. He confidently waved his weapons around, demanding cash from terrified employees. Everything seemed to be going his way until 58-year-old customer Craig Jerry decided to take matters into his own hands. Jerry calmly observed the situation from his seat, and when the moment was right, he grabbed a metal chair and struck Flores from behind. The blow knocked the would-be robber off balance, sparking a struggle between the two. Flores managed to stab Jerry several times, but Jerry fought back, wresting the knife from Flores's hand. Despite his injuries, Jerry subdued Flores, who was disarmed and desperately tried to flee. The incident, captured on surveillance cameras, quickly went viral, and Jerry, who survived the encounter, was hailed as a hero for his bravery. Flores was later arrested and sentenced to 4 years in prison. In a twist, Flores attempted to sue Jerry for using excessive force, sparking a heated public debate. If you thought a metal chair was an unusual way to stop a crime, just wait until you see the even more unexpected method used next. Number 28. Truck smash panic. These two thieves thought they were living the high life, dressing in black and attempting a robbery straight out of an action movie. They scrambled to load their getaway car with unidentified stolen goods from a store. However, things quickly spiraled out of control. Their getaway driver panicked, hitting the gas just as a truck came barreling down the street, nearly flattening the thieves. The robbers dove out of the way, but the truck driver wasn't finished. He went after their fleeing car, determined to stop the crime in its tracks. Desperate, the thieves tried to grab their loot from the middle of the road, but it was no use. The truck came back for a second round, completely shattering their hopes of a clean getaway. Defeated, the thieves likely went home, accepting that they would never get what they came for. Surviving a truck is tough, but the next robbers saw their smoothly planned heist fall apart in the blink of an eye when a worker did something genius. Number 27. Workers' secret plan. Two thieves entered a shop with their faces half covered, feeling confident about their plan. They locked the door and dragged the shop worker by his collar, demanding to know where the valuables were. What they didn't know was that the worker had a different plan up his sleeve. Seizing the perfect moment, the worker slipped out through the back door into the travel agency next door. Meanwhile, a quick-thinking bystander saw the opportunity and locked the security gate, trapping the thieves inside the shop. As the drama unfolded and people began filming, the robbers panicked. They grabbed a wrench and smashed a window, trying to escape, but it was too late. The police arrived just in time to arrest them, leaving the thieves with nothing but broken glass and handcuffs. But they made it out relatively unscathed, whereas in the next robbery, it takes a much darker turn. Number 26. Fatal wounds. In 2017, two men attempted a robbery at a convenience store in Goiás, Brazil. But things quickly went sideways. The two suspects walked into the store, acting like ordinary customers. Surveillance footage shows them trying to blend in, though one of them, wearing a helmet, looked a bit suspicious. His partner in a green shirt started glancing around nervously, giving off clear signs that something was about to go down. Suddenly, one of the robbers pulled out a weapon and pointed it at an unsuspecting customer. What they didn't expect was the store owner to react so fast. Without hesitation, the owner drew his own gun and opened fire. A shootout followed, with the robbers scrambling to escape while firing back. Both suspects were critically injured during the shootout and later died from their injuries. The store owner, who surrendered to the police after the incident, was released shortly after, with authorities ruling that he acted in self-defense. While that heist ended in tragedy, the next one shows what happens when a real-life superhero is present to prevent disaster. Number 25. Marines' quick action saves the day. In October 2021, a quiet afternoon at a convenience store in Yuma, Arizona, took a sudden and dangerous turn. Three masked men burst through the door, one of them holding a handgun, which he pointed at the cashier. The atmosphere instantly filled with tension as they demanded money. But what the robbers didn't know was that Marine veteran James Kilser was standing at the counter. Without hesitation, Kilser sprang into action. He lunged at the armed man, disarming him with a swift and decisive move. In mere seconds, Kilser had the robber pinned to the ground, while the other two suspects, realizing they had picked the wrong store, fled the scene. The entire incident was caught on surveillance cameras, and footage of Kilser's calm and fearless reaction quickly went viral. Local authorities praised him for his quick thinking, awarding him the Citizen's Valor Award. Kilser, ever humble, downplayed his actions, insisting that his military training had simply prepared him to act when needed. Courage isn't reserved for Marines. The next hero proves that anyone can make a difference when it matters most. Number 24. Pure soul. And it will restore your faith in humanity. Outside a supermarket, an 87-year-old woman had her purse snatched by a would-be thief. As the thief ran, a quick-thinking Good Samaritan sprang into action. Without a moment's hesitation, he sprinted after the purse snatcher, tackled him to the ground, and held him there until the police arrived. The thief, of course, was charged with robbery, but the real hero of the day was the Good Samaritan, who's now being recognized for his bravery. The best part? The elderly woman was so grateful for the man's help that she made dinner plans with her hero. If tackling a purse snatcher was impressive, just wait until you see how one clerk outsmarts two armed thieves in his store. Number 23. Locked in. Many armed robbers expect an easy score, especially when they walk into a store late at night. But that wasn't the case for two would-be thieves in Calgary, Canada on August 17, 2017. Just before 5 in the morning, these robbers stormed into a convenience store, armed with a pickaxe and a tire iron, thinking they'd have no trouble taking what they wanted. What they didn't count on was the brave store clerk. He didn't give in without a fight and managed to take on both of the robbers single-handedly. In the middle of the struggle, the quick-thinking clerk ran out of the store and locked the door behind him, trapping the robbers inside. It took a while for the two to realize the door was made of glass and could be broken, but by the time they figured it out, the police were already on their way, leaving them with nowhere to run. They proved that looks can be deceiving, but the next criminal finds out that sometimes when someone has a certain look, you should take it as a warning. Number 22. Cowboy Hat Hero. A bold thief walked into a store and confidently pulled out a gun at the cash register. He then turned to his side, spotted a man wearing a cowboy hat, and tried to intimidate him, thinking it was like a costume. But when the thief got momentarily distracted, the man in the cowboy hat seized the opportunity. He lunged forward, tackling the robber and knocking the gun to the floor. An alert employee quickly picked up the weapon, ensuring it was out of the thief's reach. The startled robber, now shirtless after the scuffle, dashed towards the exit. However, his escape was abruptly halted by a staff member who stepped in to stop him. What started as a bold robbery attempt ended with the thief empty-handed and caught, all because he underestimated his would-be victim. From a cowboy's quick reflexes to a thief tripping over his own escape, robberies don't always go as planned. Number 21. Laptop Heist. And it's the same when a laptop seems like an easy get. As a thief grabbed a laptop from a store and made a run for it, things went downhill. Literally, his getaway was cut short when he tripped and crashed to the ground in front of stunned customers. Before he could regain his balance, the shop assistant tackled him to the floor, holding him down with ease. Within seconds, another employee was on the phone with the police, and any chance of escape had vanished. What was supposed to be a smooth, quick heist ended with the thief pinned to the floor, out of luck and with no choice but to wait for the authorities. As this thief hit the ground, the next one gets hit by a hero you wouldn't expect. Number 20. Car Crush. In the lively streets of São Paulo, two thieves on a motorbike thought they had found an easy target when they decided to rob a couple walking down the street. Little did they know, a nearby SUV driver was about to turn their day upside down. The driver, witnessing the robbery unfold, took matters into his own hands and rammed his vehicle into the criminals, sending them flying off the bike. This shocking moment, all caught on CCTV, showed the thieves' plan crumbling in seconds. One of the thieves was later arrested after limping into Campo Limpo Hospital with a broken leg. The 32-year-old SUV driver told police that these same suspects had tried to rob him moments before the couple. While one suspect is in custody, police are still hunting down the second as their investigation continues. After seeing an SUV driver bring thieves down, wait until you witness how another driver takes justice into his own hands. Number 19. Reverse Justice Chase. A man on a bike grabbed a woman's bag and sped off, leaving her shocked but unable to stop him. The thief probably thought he had made the perfect getaway, but then something unexpected happened. Out of nowhere, a white car zoomed onto the scene. The driver, seeing what had happened, swerved and crashed into the thief's bike, ramming him repeatedly. The thief, realizing he was out of options, ditched the bag and fled. But the driver wasn't done. He continued to chase the thief in reverse, determined to deliver his own brand of street justice. As the hunter became the hunted, the next criminals learn that breaking in can be far easier than getting out. Number 18. Home invaders in a car. Imagine thinking you've hacked your way into an easy heist, only to find the house isn't as empty as you thought. It seemed like an ordinary night, until a garage door mysteriously opened and a car rolled in. But this wasn't a family member returning home. Late, it was 5 masked home invaders, 2 of them armed, ready to pull off what they thought would be an easy heist. They had hacked the garage and thought they were in for a big score. Little did they know, the homeowner was inside and quickly sensed something was off. Instead of confronting the intruders right away, he smartly retreated to his room, grabbed his gun, and quietly positioned himself to watch their moves. As the invaders split up to search the house, they didn't realize they were being watched. When a couple of them headed upstairs, the homeowner took action. He opened fire, catching the intruders off guard. In a panic, they scrambled for the exit. But their clever entrance, the hacked garage door, took its time to open. Desperate, they squeezed under the door, leaving their car behind as an unintended gift for the homeowner. If leaving behind a getaway vehicle was bad, wait until you see what the next robber leaves behind in their haste. Number 17. Funny mistake. On a Monday night in October 2019, 26-year-old Corey T. Phillips walked into a hotel in Paducah, Kentucky, with a gun in hand, thinking he had everything under control. Masked and ready, he demanded cash from the employee at the front desk. As Phillips collected the money, he made a critical error. He placed his gun on the counter. The hotel employee seized her change and grabbed the weapon while Phillips bent down to pick up the cash. Shocked and panicked, Phillips fled the scene immediately, but in a strange twist, he returned moments later, demanding his gun back. Now in possession of the gun, the hotel employee pointed it straight at him, forcing him to flee again, this time for good. Phillips didn't get far, though. The following day, police pulled him over during a routine traffic stop, where they found a stolen computer and other items linking him to the hotel robbery. Phillips was swiftly arrested and charged with first-degree robbery and possession of a stolen firearm. Dropping your weapon is a big mistake, but it's even more dangerous to pretend to be someone you're not, like the next criminals show. Number 16. Fake policeman. Outside Seattle, 3 masked men decided to pose as police officers to trick a homeowner into opening the door, shouting, "Police!"
Police!
As they pushed and kicked against the door, they tried to intimidate their way inside. But they had no idea what was waiting for them on the other side. The homeowner, sensing the threat, wasn't fooled. Standing behind a glass door, he was prepared. As the first intruder breached the entry, the homeowner fired through the glass, hitting him instantly. All 3 men, now realizing their plan had backfired, scrambled to escape. But the chaos wasn't over yet. A shootout ensued, with shots being fired from both the homeowner and the intruders, turning the quiet neighborhood into a temporary war zone. Neighbors reported hearing over 20 shots in the fight. Number 15. Father and son. Team up. When 2 robbers walked into a family store on July 18, 2017. These robbers entered the Z-Com cell phone store in Arlington, Texas, hoping for a quick cash grab. One of the robbers pulled out a gun and jumped over the counter, thinking he had full control of the situation. But what he didn't expect was resistance. The store's owner, Kuram Monga, and his son were ready to defend their business. Monga's son acted first, quickly tackling the armed robber to the ground. Not wasting any time, Kuram joined in, and together they overpowered the intruder. Meanwhile, the second robber also pulled out a gun, but he never fired a shot. Realizing they had lost control, both robbers made a run for it. Despite their efforts to hold one of the suspects inside, both robbers managed to escape. After seeing robbers thwarted by a father-son duo, the next story shows how even solo heroes can make criminals regret their choices. Number 14. Bike thief. After stealing a mini bike, he confidently stopped on the side of the road, probably thinking he'd made a clean getaway. But just moments later, another cyclist sped up, knocked him down, and began hurling insults at him. If that wasn't bad enough, the angry rider even threw the thief's shoe across the road. And just when you thought the scene couldn't get crazier, a woman rode up and chimed in, adding her own 2 cents before both of them took off, leaving the bike thief standing there, confused and shoeless. It was a moment of instant karma, and you could almost see him rethinking his life choices as they rode off with the bikes. While this bike thief faced instant karma, the next robbers learn that movie stunts aren't real, especially when it involves a robbery. Number 13. Truck hopping. Inspired by what seems like a scene out of Breaking Bad, 3 guys decided to attempt a daring stunt. They tried to jump onto a moving truck while chasing it on a bike, but real life isn't as easy as the movies. 2 of the 3 crashed as the bike lost balance. The 3rd guy managed to leap onto the truck, but with his friends down and the truck speeding away, it didn't exactly turn into the smooth robbery they had planned. Number 12. Trap and smash. Sometimes, the person you're robbing has a surprise of their own. A couple walked into a store, ready to pull off what they thought was an easy robbery. But the store owner had other plans. After one of the thieves was inside, the owner locked the door, trapping them in the store. Instead of calling the police right away, the owner stepped outside and did something no one saw coming. He smashed their getaway car to pieces. If trapping a thief in the store was impressive, wait until you see how a quick-thinking nun makes sure the next robber can't get away. Number 11. Brave nun. There are times when we learn the biggest lessons from the least likely people. 2 robbers thought they had an easy plan: steal from a building and escape using a ladder. But what they didn't expect was to be outsmarted by a nun. As one of the robbers made his way onto the roof, 76-year-old Sister Mary Jonas decided to take matters into her own hands. She removed the ladder they had used to climb up, leaving the thief stranded with no way down. The robber was left flabbergasted, with no option but to jump to the ground and flee. But not before Sister Mary Jonas gave him a good old-fashioned scolding. A nun foiled these thieves' plans, but the next thief discovers that some homeowners don't need help to defend themselves. Number 10. AK-47. Home defense. This burglar thought he had it all figured out, quietly sneaking into a house while the world was asleep, gathering up valuables without a sound. But in a flash, everything went wrong. As he crept through the house, he knocked over a set of dumbbells, the loud crash cutting through the silence like a knife. The noise woke up the homeowner, who was anything but an ordinary victim. Instead of panicking, the homeowner stayed completely calm. With an AK-47 hidden right beside the bed, he didn't jump up in fear or scramble to confront the intruder. No, he decided to wait. He tucked the gun under his blanket and acted like he was still fast asleep, setting a trap that the burglar would walk straight into. Thinking he was still in control, the thief tiptoed closer to the bedroom, maybe looking to make sure his escape route was clear, or maybe hoping to find the homeowner in a vulnerable state. The second he stepped into view, the homeowner sprang into action. He ripped the blanket off and fired off a burst of gunfire from the AK-47, sending the burglar running for his life. If that homeowner's defense was intense, wait until you see how the next one defends his home. Number 9. Mixed martial arts home defense. These robbers believed they had pulled off the perfect crime after ransacking a house and preparing to make a clean getaway. But as they sprinted towards freedom, things took a sharp turn. Little did they know, the homeowner wasn't ready to let them slip away so easily. What happened next was straight out of an action flick. The homeowner confronted the robbers in his driveway, and it quickly escalated into a full-on brawl. Displaying skills worthy of a seasoned fighter, the homeowner dodged punches and landed his own blows with precision. One of the robbers took a swing, but the homeowner expertly tackled him to the ground, turning the fight into a wrestling match. While one thief was struggling on the ground, the other tried to take advantage by picking up a nearby object and striking the homeowner. It sent him reeling to the ground, but he wasn't down for long. In an impressive comeback, the homeowner bounced back to his feet, ready for round two. Just as the robbers tried to make their escape, the homeowner grabbed one of them, pulling him back into the house for another face-off. Sounded straight out of an action sequence, and this next one is straight out of a comedy, because the robber gets destroyed. Number 8. Trapped in a store. A thief walked into a phone store in West Yorkshire, acting like a regular customer, and picked up 2 phones worth about $2,000. Pretending he was ready to buy, he suddenly made a dash for the door, thinking he'd pulled off the perfect heist. But he didn't realize the shopkeeper had already thought ahead. The store was fitted with an automatic locking system, and as soon as the thief tried to escape, the door locked. With nowhere to run, he quickly realized he was stuck. But instead of calling the police, the shopkeeper chose to handle things differently. He gave the thief a serious lecture about making better life choices and then let him go. While this robber was given a second chance, the next one faces an owner who doesn't put up with anything and is trained to fight back. Number 7. Kung Fu Phone Justice. A robber thought pretending to be interested in martial arts classes would give him the perfect cover to swipe a phone. What he didn't realize was that the owner, Meredith Livengood, wasn't just any martial arts instructor, she was a black belt in Kung Fu and Chinese kickboxing. The thief made his move, grabbing the phone and dashing off. But Meredith was quicker. She caught him effortlessly, keeping him away from the students and calmly reminding him that cameras were watching and the police were just a call away. The robber, realizing the mess he had gotten himself into, fled the scene, leaving behind what could have been the easiest steal of his life. Even former NOPD Chief Ronald Serpis praised her quick thinking, though he recommended she call the authorities next time. Taking on a martial artist didn't end well, and neither does robbing an establishment full of determined employees. Number 6. Friar Fiasco. A man in a ridiculous costume strutted into a bakery, thinking he was about to walk out with easy cash. Armed with a gun and a cocky attitude, he stepped up to the counter, ready to play the tough guy. But the cashier wasn't about to let him have his way. Instead of backing down, the cashier grabbed him and yanked him away from the counter like it was no big deal. Chaos erupted in the shop as customers panicked and bolted for the door. The cashier, however, had other plans. What followed was nothing short of a scene out of a comedy skit. Employees started flinging food at the robber, turning the bakery into an all-out brawl. The grand finale? The cashier smacked the guy with a fryer, and the wannabe thief realized his plan had gone up in flames. Number 5. Sledgehammer Bank Robbery. When your plan seems solid, sometimes it's the unexpected that can completely ruin it. In this case, a determined thief decided to take on a Chinese bank with a sledgehammer in hand, thinking brute force would get him the cash. Armed with the heavy tool, he relentlessly smashed away at the bank's reinforced security glass, trying to break through. After struggling for a while, he finally managed to create a hole big enough to squeeze through. But his victory was short-lived. Once inside, the thief quickly realized that smashing the glass was only the first hurdle. The money he was after wasn't easily accessible, and to make matters worse, the loud commotion had drawn a crowd. People from nearby had started to gather to see what was going on. Realizing he was now trapped and surrounded, the thief found himself in a situation far worse than he had ever anticipated. With no escape route, he was swiftly apprehended by the police, who arrived shortly after. While this thief smashed his way into a trap, the next thief walked peacefully into hers. Number 4. Stranded in a vault. In this case, a middle-aged woman thought she had a foolproof plan to trick a jewelry store owner and steal some valuables. But the store owner had other ideas. As the woman entered the vault room to make her move, the owner swiftly locked the door behind her, trapping her inside. Realizing she'd been outsmarted, the woman could do nothing but wait inside the vault until the police arrived. As this thief waited for the inevitable, the next one didn't see what's coming. Number 3. Car robbery interrupted. This is one of those rare moments when the police were already on the scene before the crime even took place. A man attempted to steal a car, completely unaware of the police car parked nearby. While he was entirely focused on breaking into the vehicle, the police were quick to step in and stop him. While this thief missed the cops, the next one can't miss what's aimed at them. Number 2. Texan menace. In Texas, a burglar who had been causing havoc around a local complex thought he could strike again. This time, his target was a neighbor's TV. But what he didn't realize was that his streak of thefts was about to come to an abrupt end. The homeowner, fed up with the constant burglaries, had armed himself with a shotgun and was ready for action. As the thief tried to make his escape with the TV in hand, he was greeted by the sight of the homeowner standing firm, shotgun aimed directly at him. The burglar quickly understood that his luck had run out. In a moment of calm surrender, the thief carefully set the TV down on the ground and raised his hands. Following the homeowner's instructions, he lay on the ground and didn't move an inch until the police arrived. As this burglar gave up peacefully, the next ones fled in panic. Number 1. Flying fail. These two robbers thought they could make a grand entrance by kicking down a door, superhero style. They gave it their best shot, but after multiple failed attempts to break through, their plan wasn't going as smoothly as they'd hoped. And then, just when things couldn't get worse, they did. Out of nowhere, something came flying down from above, hitting one of the robbers square on the head. The blow knocked him to the ground, and with their confidence shattered, both robbers quickly abandoned their plan and fled the scene. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.